sundown. It doesn't matter what day the Romans call it. You understand? So I'm glad we was able to do this, because with the lunar people, they've been going all over the place, switching their Sabbaths every other month and all types of stuff. And the Most High is total order. The cycle is 7, 7, 7. No problem. There's no time you got to wait and all that and then come back and start counting 7 again. You have to worry about that. Yeah.
I have a question based on when the so-called eclipse happened. What do that mean? Like when the sun and the moon come together that day, and the so-called eclipse?
Well, that's a sign in heaven.
Oh, okay.
But the Most High says that we cannot be dismayed at the signs of heaven. There is a number of eclipses that will happen before the new creation. But we're not supposed to go into that.
Yeah, I thought like that was a sign to the people, so that's a sign in heaven.
That's a sign in the heavens.
Okay.
Yeah. It tell you in the book of Chronicles, Issachar had the spirit to be able to read the luminaries in communication of what the Most High was saying to man, or to tell us when to do certain things. They had that understanding. As a matter of fact, when they came over to the Americas, they built the construct similar to what the pyramids are, which is actually a time grid. But they will never tell the population what's really that time stamp is. And then eventually the Mayans went off too. The demons started taking them way off because they had knowledge of the stars. Next thing you know, you had ships coming down and they were operating with fallen gods and angels and all that. And I want to put that out there for those who missed it earlier. Beyond any shadow of a doubt, doing the research and all that, Hermes is Azazel. Remember that pagan came on the show and said that he worshiped Hermes? That's Azazel. Osiris is Azazel. And they even had, let me tell you, it's information out there that the elite go there. They go into the pyramids and they do some type of witchcraft, and the spirit takes them to the other side, under the pyramids, spiritually. And they get information of technology and all that from Azazel, the fallen angel. They communicate with this demon that fell from the beginning. They call him the father of gods. He's Osiris. That was sitting up there with all that stuff on, the giant, and it was little people in front of him. That's him. He had many names: Hermes, Osiris, Azazel.
So by them distorting time, did they understand that would probably give them a little more time to achieve what they've been doing now?
Well, they know that they can't slow up the time. They know that they can't slow up the time, but what they were hoping is that we go off to the point that the Most High would allow them to destroy us.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
They just want, you understand?
Yeah.
They were just hoping that if they could separate it from our God long enough, that the Most High would allow them to just get rid of us. And to some degree, it's been working. All right, let me open this up for questions real quick here. And then I can yield until tomorrow. Of course, again, the lesson is not done. We have a lot of research to do to finish. And I'm putting that out there right now. But this is to be continued with more information. But I think that Brother Jermaine in Florida, and we're going to call him because he got the spirit going in it to begin us going into this. Okay. All right. All right. I think, let me unpause it here. Oh man, it's going quick. Let me pause it.
You've got mail.
Someone asked, can I say what year we're in? When you go into the 12 parts, it seems like we're in what? I know we're 8 years. We're about 7 to 8 years off. Exactly. We are about 2004 from the time of Christ. Around 2004, 2005. No later than 2005. They did a fake millennium in the year 2000. How do you know this? Because, again, we did a full lesson on it. You can probably find it here on one of the archives. But the guy that proclaimed that Christ should be killed, which was Herod, history had him die in 4 BC. Well, how could he die 4 years before Christ was born and be the one telling the wise men to go find it? There go 4 years right there. All right, he died, and he died a year after he killed the children 2 years back. So that's 7 years. That's 2 years for 2 years back, and that's another year. He died a year later. So that's 7 years. And instead of them going from 1 BC to 0 to 1 AD, they went straight from 1 BC to 1 AD with no 0. So you're looking 7 to 8 years. All right, so we're actually in 2004. When you look at how old the earth is, you're looking at, you got 10 parts up to Christ. 10 parts up to Christ. Then you got 2,000. That's 12,004 years. That's how old the whole thing is. 12,004 years. That's simple. It's broken down in 10 parts. 10 parts up to Christ. 2 parts, 4 years. That's simple. 12,004 years. All right. Okay, let's see here. What is the correct name? Real quick. Go ahead.
Does that mean it's the Mayan calendar still?
Huh?
Does that mean that the Mayan calendar is still on? It's like 2005
Yes.
or 6. So maybe something happened.
The Mayan calendar is what?
It's still on, prediction of the end of the
Well,
world. This stuff.
Well, you cannot go by what they're telling you the Mayan calendar is saying, because they'll never tell you. You understand?
Yeah, you're saying that a new period.
Well, they can't. They lied and told people that they can't see past a certain year. Why? Because, of course, their demise have been told. It's not our demise; it's theirs. What they're going to tell? Well, we're going to be destroyed very soon. They're not going to come out with that. You understand?
I don't believe that anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh? All right. The years start early in the morning on Sunday every year, on so-called Sunday every year. Someone asked me, what is the name of the months? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The Most High never gave it a name. He gave it numbers. Okay? So you come into the Hebrew class, learn from 1 to 12, you got the months. All right? What we got here? No, there's 18 parts. There's 18 parts. So it's equivalent to about an hour and 20 minutes. Hour and 20 minutes. It's equivalent to an hour and 20 minutes, which will link in, when you do that, it'll link into 24 hours when you do the math. All right. Oh, Izzy, how you doing? He says this is going to shake. Oh, yeah. I think brothers and sisters all over the place are going to go back and look at that original calendar and going to start following the holy days based on that calendar from the beginning, which we had from the beginning before the Romans came in. That's groundbreaking. Now, we don't got to look at nothing that the Jewish people do. All right? Well, like I'm saying, we're going into when he rose on whether or not that was a Sabbath or a holy day Sabbath. That's the part we're going into now. We're at that part of the study. All right? You will have that soon. We'll have a separate lesson strictly for that. March 17th brings in the new year. But you know the evening and the morning is the first day. So when the sun go down on that Saturday before the new year come in, you're officially going into the new year. You understand? Good question. We're going to give you the dates of Purim. All the holy days we're going to give you. Y'all have them tomorrow. Someone says what? Keter definition mentions Ahayah and how Jewish uses one. Why is it included with Yahweh with all the other gods? Well, because the Jewish people know our God. That's why. They know our God. It's no secret to them. All right? But all in all, I know the origin and the name in Hebrew of their God. And I know what the Most High told us in Hebrew his name was. So I'm not going to reject the Most High because Jewish people are using his name or hiding his name from the population and using it for themselves. All right? Somebody asked me, could I look at something? I think it's, yeah, I've heard of moringa. Some brother just sent me the moringa, the miracle tree. I've heard of moringa. That's some real good stuff. I'll favorite that so others can see it. What's next here? For those who are unable to flee Babylon prior to when things happen, how should we conduct ourselves? 1 Peter 2:19 tells us to suffer wrongfully for doing right. I'm a firm believer that the Most High, that a way will be made. But for those that are back, that are following the Most High, whatever happens, whether it's something happened to you there or something happened to us some other place, if we die for righteousness' sake, it's a great reward. All right? So, just continue to do what's right. We're going to set up a way in which brothers and sisters can do some work over there that can probably help them in the long run. So I can't talk about that right now, but you will have some information, some directional information very soon on that. Let's see here. Very interesting. You mentioned that the moon is, well, it's feminine. I remember being told as a young girl our womanly cycles were controlled by the moon every 28 days. That's interesting. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, don't they have, the moon have a seven, didn't y'all read it, they had a 7-day cycle?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
How is it the pyramid is a time capsule? Well, when I say the pyramid, the Great Pyramid is actually a measurement tool also of a time space. From the chasms it has within there, each what you would call what they call that from arm to arm. Each cubit is a time stamp. Each cubit is a time stamp of years. And that particular pyramid was built by angels, beyond any shadow of a doubt. And all these brothers that's dealing with Africanism and dealing with all these different gods, the Anunnaki and all that, they follow in fallen angels and in Azazel. All these Egyptologists and all that, they're following fallen angels and Azazel. What reference? I'm going to make sure all the references are on our page, so you don't have to worry about that. Can you get John 3 and 13? Well, I'm not going to, someone that says if Enoch ascended into heaven, I can't say if Enoch ascended into heaven. He did ascend into heaven. Let's go to John 3 and 13. Answer the question.
St. John chapter 3, verse 13.
Go ahead. And so did Elijah or Elias. He did it too. Read it.
And no man have ascended up to heaven, but he that came down from heaven, even the Son of Man, which is in heaven.
When you do the precepts, this linking into him descending and ascending. So you have to link in the precepts. It's talking about him going into the belly of the earth, taking full power and ascending before the throne, shedding blood on the heavenly tabernacle. But that is a good question. When you link the precepts, it's not just speaking of his ascension. It also links to his descension. No one have went into hell and ascended. Okay? Good question, though. Let's see here. Who else we have here? I think we're past the time. I know Gabar have to go in a second. 1 second here. The first day of 2012, March 17th. Yes, that's the first day of the calendar year. What is the eagle with the 12 feathered wings and the 3 heads? Okay, that's speaking of the Edomites. That's speaking of the Greeks, later the Romans. The feathers, the 12 feathers, it's talking about the Caesars. We're going to do a lesson on that soon. That's speaking of the Esau's empire over the Romans and the 12 Caesars of Rome. I understand Zechariah 14 and 12 has been taught as being nuclear fallout, considering verse 13. Is it possible that this passage is talking about walking dead zombies? Please explain. Let's read it. Zechariah 14 and 12.
Zechariah chapter 14, verse 12.
Really, to me, as far as I'm concerned about this zombie thing, I think the thing is utterly ridiculous. It's made up through government to have you accept the population walking around drugged up out of their minds. And they need us in that state so that when cops come, under law, they can execute people and say that they was down, they encountered a zombie. It's just more reasons for engagement. That's all it is. There's no such thing as no zombie. You notice now with this new, going on a lower level, with this new garbage bill they talking about in the United States, they're pushing for more medication for people. That when people have these ideas against government or whatever the case is, they need medication. Well, the medication is going to make them psychotic and crazy, out of their minds. That's the whole point of the medication. So it's going to be many facets to this zombie garbage. It's just a reason for government to engage you. There ain't no zombies. But let's read the scripture. Zechariah 14 and 12. Read the 13th verse.
And it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from the Lord shall be among them, and they shall lay hold every one on the hand of his neighbor, and his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor.
You don't need zombies for that to happen. That's going on right now. People are fighting their own neighbors right now. All right, so what's the next one here?
He said in their records, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi will be in those areas. What about the rest of the other tribes?
Well, some of the tribes will be with Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, but not in mass number. The Bible tells us that the Most High must bring Judah together first so that the other tribes don't magnify themselves against them. Why? The other tribes are used to being together. They're used to operating together. So if they all came together, they would actually have the authority over Judah, who are not used to being together. So the Most High is going to have them there first, and then the other tribes are going to come. All right?
So,
what's next?
I'll read this real quick.
Yeah.
This is Zechariah 12 and 7. It says, the Most High, Ahayah, shall save the tents of Judah first.
He shall save the tents of Judah first,
that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah.
So Jerusalem don't magnify itself against Judah. Okay? And that's clear. To understand, the first month, first of all, the top of the first month, those extra 4 days out of the year, those are what you would call new months. All right? They're holy days bringing in the seasons, or to signify a season. Those are new months or Sabbaths. So when the seasons change, holy day. And there's a point. You got 30 days for the first month, 30 days for the second month, 31 days for the third month. On that 31st day, Sabbath. And you got 30, 30, then the next 31, that extra 1 day, Sabbath. 30, 30, 31, that extra day, Sabbath. On and on and on, all around the clock. That you got 4 Sabbaths a year, which are the new months. Okay? It's that simple. Someone asked, did we see Alex Jones on CNN? Hey, they stirring it up now. They stirring it up. It's time to take the guns. And that's deep, because I think that goes into the scripture they were talking about, neighbor against neighbor. Because the criminals ain't going to give up their guns. So the normal population of law-abiding citizens, they're the ones that's going to be taken through this. And I'm seeing how some of the cops are stomping the brains out of young boys right now, just stomping their heads all in the streets and all that. It's wild. Anyway. Okay, Sister Binyasha Allah, we will say a prayer. You say you're dealing with a lot of my 501c3 Freemasonry field job. Oh my goodness. We're going to put the whole timestamp on the site and the holy days on the site. So you'll have them. All right. Well, I'm sorry, Gabar, that I went into your time, but I really needed to get a lot of this out. Okay, I had to get a lot of this out, so I'm about to yield. I hope this brings some resolve in a lot of areas concerning the holy days going forward. I know it's a relief off of me. Okay. In a nutshell, you got 30 days all through the year, but at the change of seasons, there's an extra interval for each season. So there's 4 extra days for change of seasons, which are holy days. Okay? It's that simple. I don't know how clear you can see this, but that's basically the cycle there. That's the cycle. But we'll make sure that diagram is on where you can see it and count yourself also. Okay, I guess I'll yield. I mean, what are y'all looking at? Someone said that I see the bishop that laid a sheet over somebody and laid on him. He's really anointing, huh? He's doing that's a power anointment right there. And Lex Will, you are correct with the moon being feminine. The female god Alat that was worshipped in Persian mythology before Islam. Absolutely. And you notice they worship with the crescent moon. That's the goddess that they're worshiping. Have nothing to do with the Most High. Lex Will is he's right on point with that. Someone asked, do you think the 4 beasts in Revelations 4 have any correlation to the division of tribes in Christ's kingdom? I haven't seen any precepts that told me of such, so I would have to go with the precepts for that, or it'll just be philosophy. Someone said a bishop placed a sheet on top of 2 men and laid on them. Can you explain where Mary's token of virginity was? I don't understand the question. The token of virginity is usually where all women tokens of virginity be when they marry. I don't understand the question. Maybe you can give me some understanding. There was a Hebrew marriage. When you read, I think I know what you're saying now. We read Matthew, the 1st chapter, when you go, the angel told him to take to him his wife, to go through with it. Okay? And Sister Marie, you're right on with that. With the parting of 7 ways, the Most High's number 7. I'll answer 2 more questions and I'll have to pray out with you all. Somebody asked, can I explain the Welling Wall? Yeah. They believe that there's a jinn or a genie or a demon that they can put their wishes in the wall and get their wishes fulfilled in Jerusalem. It's a demon they're dealing with. Just like they go to the rock in Mecca. The Welling Wall is similar to that. All right. Someone asked, Psalms 55:1, precepts Acts 3:1 support 80-minute blocks with Peter and John praying in the 9th hour. You're right on point. In Exodus, the 30th chapter, which talks about the sweet cannabis, does it mean marijuana? The sweet calamus. That's calamus, not cannabis. That's the sweet calamus. All right. Lex Will says, thinking people can leave using work today, pay today, and travel city by city south. Someone asked, is Christ's birthday still around the time of April? Well, we're going to look at that too. Now we're going into the times. No, the first day of the year is not on a Sabbath. The first day of the year always come on the first day of the week. And it always end on a Sabbath. See that? That's how the Most High total completion. He started on the first day, ended on the 7th day. So they're going to always come in on the first day, and the last day of the year will always be a Sabbath. Total completion. Okay? Good question. Okay, any other additional questions? We will drop a calendar. It's not too late to get into the academy. Okay? Send an email. We'll give you all the back information, and that can get you up to date within a few days, because we're only what? It's only the 4th weekend. So we have 2 months and an extra lesson. All right. Okay, we'll check our email. We'll check the email. Lex, send an email. Send an email, Lex. Okay, well, thank you, bless you, and I wish I can stay on, but I have to go. May the Most High be with you, and Elder and Brother Gabar will be on shortly, okay? Shalom.
Shalom.
And if you would like to join the academy, send an email, we'll make sure you get it. Bless you and thank you for your time, and you all have a blessed Sabbath. Shalom.